Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Miss Miranda Green.
Good evening, Ambassador. Everyone?
What brings you to Cairo, Miss Green?
I was very easy to find back home, especially by the press.
She made headlines when she solved the Lewis Findlay murder.
How did you solve it?
I always had an absolute memory.
Nobody likes to know it all.
I shall secure the premises for the evening. Good man.
Oh, dear God.
Everyone must vacate this room.
We should call the police.
No police.
Where are the authorities? Why call me?
The embassy is sovereign British territory. It's for us to investigate any crimes internally. What does it say?
A murder has been committed, and the murderer is in this room. I'm going to need everyone to remain in the embassy until I finish my investigation. Unless I solve the case before that.
Now, prisoners as well as suspects.
He did see a strange light coming from one of the windows last night.
It was Maggie sending a signal.
To whom?
Someone outside the embassy. Follow that car.
Where on earth did you find this?
It came from Maggie's suitcase, which was taken from her home by the person who chased me all over Cairo for it.
The British embassy was infiltrated by a German national.
Nazis in Egypt.
The desert hides many secrets, Madame Miranda.
What do you notice?
The head's turned.
Well, no turning back now, I suppose. I don't yet know who to trust.
This will be dangerous.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm not a killer.
Careful, Miss Green.
Shining a light on truth is how we find a path to justice. So you do smile?
Tell no one.
This is good. Awful, but good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hurt with the NRW, and I'm hoping that I'm recording. So I'm here with Shimek, who is the director of Murder at the Embassy. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Apparently missing the ball on all of this stuff today, though.
The joys of Zoom interviews.
Exactly. Well, you're the director, so as long as you do what you're supposed to do on your days, that's okay. I'm just the interviewer. Let's talk about the film. So Murder at the Embassy is technically a sequel. Can you talk to the audience though about how this movie can stand on its own, do you think, or do you think that people should go back and watch it?
I think this movie definitely stands on its own. I think that there's additional texture that you might appreciate if you go back and watch the first one. So in that first film, we basically Miranda learns for the first time that she can solve these real life murders, and decides to go into business for herself. We pick her up now as someone who's in the early stages of that career that she's chosen for herself in the second movie. And there are little they allude to things from previous films, but not in ways that would ever leave you not understanding what's going on. It's kind of just a hint of what her backstory was, and that there's something to learn there. And so if you want to go gather that information, you can. But yeah, I think this one stands alone. But it is a chapter 2, and it is fun to see how those characters grow. So I'd recommend both.
That's a personal opinion, right?
Yeah.
So one of the really cool things, as you said, Miranda is coming into her own. She had a business before, but now she's coming into this new business, new opportunity. But in this film, she seems to still be competing with her abilities a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's really her trying to decide if this is the business she wants to go into, or is that her formally taking control of those abilities?
I think it is kind of the way that I saw a lot of it was there is some of that taking control, but there's also this imposter syndrome of knowing that you have a skill set and a passion, but who are you to take on something so huge, and maybe you're not cut out for this. And so there are moments where she is competing with her immense book smarts, but then still kind of not having the social graces that maybe everyone else around her seems to have, and not realizing how readily she can accidentally cause offense. But she's also just incredibly sharp and smart, and Mischa, brings a really great kind of nuance and rides that line, and still makes her so lovable and likable as a detective in the early stages of her career. I find it a fairly compelling concept of like, yeah, she's definitely good, but is she that good? Can she pull this off? Has she bitten off more than she can chew? So I think that's kind of what we're seeing there.
That's with that, and I promise this will be my last question about the kind of that nuance of the
Sure.
job. One of the big things that really spoke to me is Mischa Barton herself she's not a young hen. I'm her. She's literally a year older than me. That's why I'm saying that. This also seemed kind of a statement on coming into yourself even later in life. Was that intentional, or was that just me hoping to see something there in the screen?
No, I think that your observation is a very special observation, because I firmly believe that every person that watches a film has their own experience with the film, right? You bring your life to the theater, and then the movie brings its story to you, and you meet in the middle. And everybody's going to have an experience that may or may not have been overtly intended in the screenplay. We're definitely trying to say that she's a modern woman, and she's going to just not feel bound to these things. Like, there is intention behind the idea that, like, you don't have to just do what life has dealt you. You can keep pushing yourself and keep traveling toward, a different dream for your future. So yeah, I think there's a lot of intention there, and there's also a lot of just like, whoever, you come to the movie and it's going to have a conversation with you, and that's just for you.
Absolutely. All right, now to move on out of that area. We see a lot of history in this. Now, of course, this is a little bit fantastical. A little bit. It is fantastical. But what is it like mixing that true history? Especially, there's a moment, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a moment at the end after the reveal where it gets real honest for a second. How does it feel mixing those two elements, that fantasy and that history, to ensure accuracy as well?
Yeah, it's a really fun challenge, because you have this pre-existing framework for things that were happening at the time, and then we have our fictional story that's kind of weaving around amongst those things that were happening. And so I worked with our writer Mark Brennan a lot on, like, he does so much research, and he'll come to me and be like, okay, so here's this, here's that, here's what's going on. And it's such a joy to be able to kind of like pick apart, like, oh, this would really work to help us do that, and that would be great to do that. And so it is a fairly careful kind of, like, we never want to overtly change history. We're trying to slot right in there and live as a story that you never heard about, maybe, in the history books. And but it's so much fun to kind of see those little gems as you go that are like, oh, well, that is perfect for us. We'll use that, and we'll use this over here. And, it's been a lot of fun to kind of dig into that side of things.
With that, and our group is, we are a diverse channel. Most of our team are people of color. And this was actually a conversation that we had when we first saw the trailer. And I think y'all hit this very well, just to go into this, just to preface. But this is very reminiscent of classic mystery stories. And there was a bit of racism when it came to certain characters in those tales. Y'all seem to kind of make a jest at some of that, but at the same time, y'all were careful not to overstep. How difficult was it to not kind of fall into some of those classic, like, problem areas?
Yeah, I think honestly, for me, because I'm a white cisgendered male. And so, like, I'm trying to list all of my blind spots whenever I dive into a script, and try and say, these are things that are standing out to me. Pass that on to someone else. Please, you tell me now. And then pass that on to another set of eyes. People that have these different life experiences, who can make you aware of things that maybe you didn't notice upon first reading, but also trying to be as aware as you can while you're reading it, so that that what you're like it to, because again, philosophically, I'm like, it makes sense for a racist character to exist in a movie. What I don't want is for the movie to be racist. And so like that's kind of like one of those guiding lights for me, is to kind of dig into, okay, so you know, where are those camps, and can I make sure that we're very clearly in one camp and not the other? So yeah, that's always a challenge, to try and, you know, watch out for your own blind spots, because you're not going to see them. So flag what you can, and then pass it off to somebody and just get some input. You know, that would be my biggest takeaway from those kinds of experiences.
Absolutely. All right. My last big question for you. We know that Miranda has a lot more stories to tell, and she kind of gives that off at the end. Once again, trying not to spoil. Where would you like to see her next?
Well, we are working on number 3, and I can't say too much. So I'm not going to say geographically where I want to see her next. But I will say that it's very important for me, for each chapter of Miranda Green's story, to present her with a lesson that she has to learn. And so we've got a lot of available territory of where we can take her character next, and what kind of challenges she can face and how she can grow as a detective. And that's really what I'm interested in doing next, is kind of exploring that. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen, so much for your time today. Murder at the Embassy will be in theaters and on demand on digital on November 14th. Thank you, and you have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Yeah. Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes,
you know
sir.
I'm one
Thank
of
you. Awesome. Kuya P, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
They're nice to meet you. Nerds do rule the world.
We do. We're phenomenal, aren't we?
Thank you, Nerds Rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julian.
Yes.
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
absolutely.
And
you're right. Nerds do rule the world.
We're just the best.
Yes. Yes. Nerds do rule the world. I agree.
We do.
I agree.
We're awesome, aren't we?
Thank you, ladies.
Nerds so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And nerds really do rule the world.
Thank you, sir. It's your boy Kuya P. Nerds rule the world. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Do. They rule the world, all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.
Well, I was good until I saw that this is Nerds Rule the World. So are we talking about, like, everybody you interview is a nerd, right?
Oh, it's a legal requirement. It is.
It's a legal requirement.
Yes.
Or are you, or the second you popped on screen, I was like, wait, are you supposed to be the queen nerd then?
I hope so. My handle is Heather is a nerd, so I am a professional at least.
Okay. But then you enter that whole question of like, well, if you're calling yourself a nerd, are you really a nerd? True nerd, would they call them? I don't know. I'm going to start going cross-eyed.
Going to psychoanalyze this a little bit.
Yeah.